Bitcoin right now is getting a bounce from a very key level of support, but is the bounce going to continue? We are going to be answering that question and more today as we dive deep into the charts, walking you through exactly what is happening with this price action in real time. So make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, make sure to click that bell for notifications because we are bringing you the most timely and the most accurate TA updates here on YouTube. First of all, why is Bitcoin getting this bounce? It is because we have come down to a very key support resistance flip. This is the last high that we put in before that FTX dump, and now the price is simply coming back down to retest this area that acted as resistance once and resistance twice. And of course, if you're in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, you know we gave this exact level to almost literally the dollar. We were like $2 off in advance. And if you were subscribed to the channel and you saw the live stream on Friday, I actually gave this trade setup for free, and we did pretty much hit to the dang dollar. And so we're able to capitalize on these movements. And by the way, if you also want to take advantage of these volatile markets with 0% limit fees on ByBit, click the link in the description. A great deal for people who actually know what they are doing, because if you're not paying limit fees, you can actually get a lot more profit because those fees do cut into your profits. So the question right now is this bounce from this level going to hold? Are we going to see a higher Bitcoin price, or are we going to lose this level? Now, let me preface this by saying, whenever somebody asks me, is the price going to go up or is the price going to go down? My answer is always the same. It depends. It depends. Why does it depend? Because we cannot know for certain what price is going to do in the future. And if we are basing our trades or our investing on what we think price is going to do in the future, we're always going to get wrecked. Instead, we need to approach these charts objectively, and we need to understand what are the key levels where price is very probable to get some kind of a reaction from. But then we need to keep those on the back burner and be watching the price in real time as price does come to those levels, so that if we see what we want to see, we can then capitalize on an opportunity. We need to approach trading with if-then scenarios. We need to have multiple scenarios in the back of our heads and tell ourselves, if price comes to such and such a level, and if the chart is giving me such and such a signal, then I will do such and such. If we approach trading like that, we will be much more successful. This is how we are able to give the short setup from 24K in advance with our confirmations and our levels, right? The if-then scenario, as well as the long trade from the bottom, the if-then scenario. We gave both of these setups in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. And it's not because we are predicting what is going to happen. It is because we are saying, if I see this, then this opportunity has presented itself and I can go ahead and capitalize on that. And as you can see, I'm actually still holding the long from the bottom and the short from the top. So now that we have understood that we're not predicting price, but we are learning to be good traders who are able to take advantage of what is happening in the moment, we can go through and see what are the key levels we need to be aware of and what are the signs we need to look for on the chart in order to take advantage of these movements. So let's assume that we are going to get a bounce from this level and come up to higher prices. What do we need to be aware of? There are two potential scenarios that could happen on the way up. First of all, we could put in a lower high and then put in a lower low. Secondly, we could put in a higher high and then continue in an uptrend. So this is really what we need to be looking at right now. First of all, when we're looking at this market structure, there's a very real chance that we could be getting a much bigger move to the downside. First of all, why is there a big chance that we could be getting a move to the downside? It is because when we take a look at all the volume that has traded here on the Bitcoin chart, we can see that the price has now come back down inside this old value area. What is a value area? The market is always trying to establish equilibrium, where it's establishing a fair price for an asset. Where do most people consider the asset to be fairly priced? And we can learn this by looking at where did most people buy and sell the asset. And in this case, since June, most people bought and sold Bitcoin between the price of 18.6K and $23,000. And the way we approach this is, if the price breaks out of this fair value area and then holds as support, for example, if we had come above and then gotten our bounce from here and then gotten another move to the upside, this would be the market telling us this is a sign of strength and people want to now start considering Bitcoin fairly priced at higher prices. But if we come back down inside this value area, this is telling us that the market has determined this is actually a premium. This is too expensive for Bitcoin. We need to have a correction to the downside. And once we enter back inside this volume area, it actually is more probable than not that we will make our way back down to the low of this volume area, where now Bitcoin will be considered oversold or undervalued, and we can look for another move back to the upside. This is pretty much the way I approach my trading if I'm scalping, if I'm day trading, or if I am swing trading, right? This is why I gave the setup from $16,300, because we were coming down into that oversold territory, and this is why we gave the setup from 24K, because we were coming up into that overbought territory. So if this level does hold as our support, I think the first thing we need to be doing, understanding the context of the market on a larger time frame, that the market is looking to price Bitcoin back in that old value area, we should be looking for somewhat of a lower high to be put in. That would be my first instinct here. And if we take a look at some of the local levels of resistance above us, right, we do need to be aware that because we've actually changed market structure on the 4-hour time frame, having put in now our first lower low, taking out these old lows from the end of January, that if we are going to get more of a bounce from here, we need to be very much so aware of the key level between 22287 and $23,000. What we need to be doing here is looking at these levels. I would say it's a zone, right? We're going to look for now a lower high to be put in, and we would be looking for a retest in this old zone right here. And what are we going to want to look for as we come up into this area to see that we are going to get a rejection and put in a lower high? We're going to be looking for something called bearish divergences, right? If we go to the 1-hour time frame, and let's say, for example, the price does continue to move up from here, and our 1-hour time frame is starting to look like this, where the momentum is getting lower as the price is getting higher into this area of key resistance, we can say, okay, we are putting in a lower high, and we can actually now look to shoot for a lower low, right? That is one scenario that we need to be very much so aware of. If the price comes up back into this zone between 22287 and $23,000, and we're seeing bearish divergences, we know that this bounce is short-lived, and we can look now for a lower low. And if that happens, where are we going to be looking for support for this low to be finally put in? Well, there are a few major zones that we need to be aware of. I would say that based on what we were talking about with the volume, the major zone of support that we are going to see for this move to the downside is going to be the zone between $18,500 and $19,200. As you can see right here, between 18.5 and 19.2, this is back down to the bottom of that value area, where the price will once again be considered oversold. Basically, we're buying Bitcoin now on the cheap, and we could look for a major bounce to the upside. And if this happens, of course, not only is this a place where the Bitcoin price would be considered oversold on the cheap, but look at this right here. We can also see, just like where we're bouncing from right now, where we're bouncing from a key support resistance flip, if we come back down to that zone, we will also be bouncing from a very, very key support resistance flip. And so it's very probable, if we are going to lose this zone of support that we are bouncing from right now, that we will come down to the $18.5 to $19,000 area. That is the most probable. And if that happens, what are we going to be looking for in order to potentially get into a trade? We are going to be looking for, of course, the very bullish uneven butt cheek pattern. The uneven butt cheek pattern is where our oscillator is now printing higher lows as the price is making lower lows, right? If we do something like this and we come down to our level and we see that the 4-hour time frame is starting to tick up with the money flow, and we see that the momentum waves are starting to get higher as the price is getting lower, strangely resembling a pair of uneven butt cheeks, well, then we can know that price is likely to find support right at that zone, right? We're just building if-then scenarios because there's really no way to know. We have to be prepared for all things, and we have to make sure that we have a plan in advance, knowing how we are going to be getting into those markets. Okay, so these are some scenarios. There is one more scenario, guys. We very well may find support right here and continue up higher. And if that is the case, if we have found support here and we do continue up higher, then what do we need to be looking for? We need to be looking for a sign of strength on the chart. And a sign of strength on the chart is showing that traders want the Bitcoin price to be considered fair value at higher prices. And so what we need to do is we need to come above 22,500 and then hold that level as support. And then if we can hold this level as support right here, that is a sign of strength. That is a sign of strength. I will not be expecting higher prices until we can come and hold 22.5 as support, because now we are showing on a very local time frame that we are changing market structure back to bullish, and that the market does in fact want to consider the fair price of Bitcoin in this old volume area. Okay, now there are a few other things that we do need to be aware of. We need to be keeping our eyes on the S&P 500 when it opens up tonight. When we take a look at the S&P 500 right now, we can see it's in a very, very similar situation to Bitcoin. By the way, if you want to learn how to trade this way, guys, where you have a plan in advance and you know exactly what you are looking for to get into a trade, to take advantage of swing trades like the longs and the shorts that we're in right now, or even scalp trades like the scalp long that we took from this key level, check out the course at jasoncaspertrading.com. This will give you the knowledge and the skills you need to become a confident, profitable trader. This is literally changing thousands of people's lives because it's giving you a clearly defined system to get into trades with good risk management. So over time, you can become profitable, or at the very least, not lose money. We also do have an advanced course which goes over how to use order flow and using charts that look like this. Of course, this is a more advanced course, but also a 20% discount on that, as well as our trading bot. We are giving away our trading bot for free, a 14-day free trial to everybody who signs up. This bot will basically trade for you, where you can give it your plan to say, for example, take a long from this level only if the chart looks like this. The bot will trade for you. It will set your stop loss or take profits for you. It will lock in profit for you, move your stop loss to the entry. It's a great tool with a great community. Check it out for free right now. So the S&P 500 is absolutely getting a very similar move to Bitcoin. It has officially now put in a lower low. This is the 4-hour time frame. We've put in our high, our low, our lower high, and now our lower low. But as you can see, we are also getting a bounce from a key level of support, which is this Fibonacci golden pocket. So when this opens tonight at 6 p.m. New York time, this is the futures market for the S&P. If we see a bullish open, we can also expect Bitcoin to react very bullishly, because the S&P 500 is actually a leading indicator for Bitcoin. So I'm really keeping my eyes on this. If this continues to the upside, we know that we have targets around 4,300 on the S&P 500. I do believe that will bring Bitcoin up to $25,000. To the downside, if we open bearishly, we know we have major support around 3,950 for the S&P 500, where we will be retesting a year-long trend line that you can see we've officially now broken out of, and it would be a very bullish retest. Let me also clarify that on a higher term time frame, I still remain bullish. The reason is because we have officially put in bullish market structure on the higher term timeframes, as well as we are printing some very macro bullish signals. But in the short term, we do need to be prepared for upside and downside. I currently lean a little bit more bearish in the medium term than I do bullish, looking for more downside. But these are the things that we really need to be keeping our eyes on right now. So guys, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, make sure to click that bell for notifications. May everybody watching and listening be blessed in the name of Jesus the Messiah. I know not everybody is religious. That is totally fine with me. I do still pray that you are very blessed, and I will see everybody in the next video. Peace.